Jim came to me a few years ago, and he had actually already had a consult with another dentist. Jim knew that he had a few different crowns, a few different shades and colors. As Jim was getting more mature in life, more teeth were showing, and more of the roots of his teeth were showing. So when Jim came to me, he was concerned with how everything was looking and whether or not this was the right time to make a change and kind of reconstruct some of the things that's already been done if we could make it look better.
I had probably 24 roughly crowns that were probably about 40 years old. Completely replaced all the bottoms and all the tops with crowns. He also recommended to have some gum work, out of receding gum line, and one that needed to be cut down. So he went above just replacing the crowns to make a better crown replacement than just doing the teeth.
One of the first things we did on Jim was a digital smile design. The digital smile design allows us to take some photos, some impressions of his teeth right now. We work closely with one of the best labs in San Diego. We were able to design on both a computer and on models exactly what we wanted Jim's teeth to look like at the very end. We got that back and I was able to try that in Jim's mouth and give him a little feel for what the final result would be. Jim was ecstatic about how that was looking, and so we decided to proceed. Through the digital smile design, it became very clear that Jim needed to have some connective tissue placed over some of the teeth, because when he smiled, you could see some of the root surfaces. So I referred him to a good periodontist here in San Diego who's able to replace some of that gum tissue and put it all back. I told Jim that the difference between doing the gum tissue and not doing the gum tissue is ultimately the difference sometimes between like a B+ result and really an A+ result. Just as important as the white of our teeth look, how the pink of the gums around the teeth is just as important.
The doctor made me comfortable. He was up front that said, here's what I'm going to do. I work with these guys on the side. It's not a business relationship, it's a social thing. And he says, I'm going to share your case with them and get their input. So he didn't just rely upon his own expertise. He went to other people in the industry and said, what would you do? Just so make sure he didn't miss anything. That's important because we travel so much. The one surgeon he recommended us to do couldn't get me in. I told him, well, couldn't get me in, and the next day the guy called me and said, Dr. Spencer asked me to make a special arrangement to see you. So it was really good, and he's one of the best ones in town. So, and the person that actually makes the crowns is one of the best ones in town too, and I met with him. Doctor arranged all those, so I was comfortable with the whole group of people that were participating in the process.
So when Jim came back for the full mouth reconstruction, we started on the top, we prepared the upper teeth, and he left with temporaries that day. And then within a few weeks, Jim had permanent porcelain crowns on the top. Very shortly after that, we did the bottom teeth as well to be able to match the upper teeth. One of the things Jim noticed right when we were done was the fact that on the day that we delivered his final bottom teeth, they were matched perfectly in color and in bite and shape to the upper teeth. So Jim left feeling good. He was able to chew right away, talk perfectly, felt very smooth. Jim was a fantastic result. We were very proud of what we were able to accomplish for Jim.
I always joke with my wife is, I don't see him, but she loves him, I love him. The bite was perfect from day one. The doctor went overboard on trying to get him perfect, but yeah, we love him. And they feel perfect, haven't had any issues with him. But he's putting the front teeth on top and kept looking at him, and finally had to get him, he says, I'm not going to cement these in permanently because they're just not perfect. I'm looking at, I couldn't tell anything on them. I went home, my wife couldn't tell anything on them, but the doctor saw just something he didn't like, so he had them redone, put the other two back in, and said now in a perfect. And I don't think any layman would ever been able to tell the difference. I mean, and my wife's pretty specific on those things, so he's world class.